Hello, my name is Jana Fakhreddine and I study environmental health at the American University of Beirut. Our poster discusses the COVID-19 crisis and its impact on air pollution. The question here is it a silver lining for the climate? Now, the new strain of the coronavirus COVID-19 was first identified in Wuhan, China in December 2019. The pandemic so far has had major impacts on human health, social practices, and the global economy. However, it seems that the pandemic has had positive impact on the environment with global reductions in air pollution. That is, major air pollutants such as nitrogen oxides, carbon monoxide, particulate matter, and greenhouse gases such as carbon dioxide were reduced on a global scale. This is mainly allotted to the global lockdown the pandemic led to, which started in February 2020. The lockdown halted most individual and industrial activities such as traffic, travel, mining, and other major activities that contribute to air pollution and drive climate change. We identified three significant cases in which my colleague Huda will discuss now.
Hello, my name is Huda Hout. I'm an environmental health senior at the American University of Beirut, and I will be guiding you through three countries in which major reductions in air pollution levels were observed. Starting with China, as shown in figure number 1, these are satellite images provided by NASA, which show the nitrogen dioxide concentrations dissipating by almost half in some areas before and during the COVID-19 lockdown, that is in January of 2020 and February of 2020, 4 weeks into the lockdown. Also in China, we looked into the greenhouse gas carbon dioxide as China is a top carbon emitter. Our results are represented in figure number 2 and they read as follows. By the 4 week mark of the lockdown, a 25% carbon dioxide reduction was observed. By the 7 week mark, there was an 18% carbon dioxide reduction. This is attributed to some activities which emit carbon dioxide picking up once again. And by April of 2020, as the majority of the country lifts its lockdown, especially in China's economic hubs, it seems that carbon dioxide concentrations are increasing to pre-lockdown levels. The second country we looked into was India, as India is a growing economy with a population of 1.3 billion people. In figure number 3, we have an image of New Delhi in October of 2019 on the left and April of 2020 on the right. April 2020 marks a few weeks into the lockdown. Clearly, there's an improvement, a significant improvement in visibility. Furthermore, the Central Pollution Control Board compared the air quality of March 21st, that is, a day before the lockdown, and March 23rd, the second day of lockdown, and found the following results. PM10 and PM2.5 levels were reduced by almost 35 to 45%. There was also a 51% reduction in nitrogen oxides. Furthermore, they inspected the air quality index, and on March 23rd, New Delhi and surrounding cities ranked at moderate, and slowly by March 28th improved into the satisfactory and good categories. Finally, we looked into Western Europe and especially France, Northern Italy, and Northern Spain. As shown in figure number 4, there is a large-scale reduction of nitrogen dioxide, almost 50% in all three countries, as compared to the same months of last year. That is, comparing March and April of 2019 with March and April of 2020, when all three of these countries are in lockdown. My colleague Jana will now explain what lessons can be learned from the observed reductions in air pollutants and greenhouse gases and what this means in terms of the climate.
It is true that the lockdown had significant impacts on air pollution levels. However, it is not enough to curb climate change because as activities go back to normal with the lift of the lockdown, the emissions will resume, going back to pre-lockdown levels. For example, as Huda mentioned in the case of China when the lockdown was lifted in April 2020. This is not sustainable. For sustainable mitigation, we need long-term reductions that can help mitigate and eliminate the effects or minimize the effects of climate change. This can be achieved through several ways or through several actions we can take. One way is through achieving the Sustainable Development Goal 13. The SDG 13 aims to take urgent action to combat climate change and its impacts. Other actions that can be taken include reducing carbon pollution through adapting renewable energy and deforestation. We can also mobilize communities and governments to take climate action more seriously, amongst other actions that can contribute to mitigating the climate and preserving the environment, like protecting coral reefs, biodiversities, and scarce resources. These are all important because the environment is a system that is interrelated with each other, and one factor affects another factor. So by preserving the environment, we can help reduce the impacts of climate change and its effects. Thank you and bye.